This is a video designed to give a brief showcase of some mental state examination training that uses simulation technology. The idea for the use of this technology was initially thought up by Dr. Rebecca Chubb to help support and educate colleagues from the police and fire services on ways in which we can recognise the early signs of mental health deterioration. We can now also tailor this package to support the learning of medical and nursing students. We wanted today to demonstrate the scale that this technology can be used at, and as you can see, it really makes you feel as though you're stood inside a patient's home. Staff can freely explore the area and make use of the touch screen to look with greater detail at the areas of interest. In this scenario, we are stood within the home of a patient who has sadly become at risk of self-neglect. Through exploration of the scene and by listening to voice and video clips of the patient speaking and reacting, we can see that this gentleman has sadly become very depressed. Let's take a quick look at how the simulation works. Here you can see some of the key points of a mental state examination. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how we use this technology to further explore areas of this gentleman's appearance, which might just give us some insight into his mental well-being. We will also have a brief look at some points of interest in this gentleman's home environment. So starting over here, let's go have a look at this gentleman sat down. What's really good with this technology is using the touch screen here, I can press on this gentleman's face and it just gives us a wider picture, which allows us to see that this gentleman, he does have some quite significant bruising underneath his eyes, and he's also looking unfortunately quite dishevelled. Moving down his body, it seems that it does look like he's wearing what might be hospital pyjamas. If I press here, yeah, we can see he's wearing hospital pyjamas, which shows us that there's a chance this gentleman may have recently been in hospital, perhaps admitted through A&E, which might explain some of the bruising to his face. Then just having a bit of a general look in his environment, we can see obviously it's quite a messy environment, unfortunately, and it does look as though this gentleman is at risk of self-neglect. Just to press here on the counter right next to this gentleman, so we can see that there appears to be some empty medication bottles, and actually as we explore the environment a bit further, we see that this medication is quite out of date, which is further evidence that this gentleman isn't looking after himself very well. So we've built three scenarios. The first one here is obviously inside a patient's home and looking at a gentleman who is sadly at risk of self-neglect. The second scenario, this is again inside a patient's home, and it's looking at a lady who's experiencing a bout of mania. And then the last environment is slightly different. It's based more in a hospital setting, and we're looking at a gentleman who's experiencing an episode of psychosis that's been brought about perhaps by some of the medication that he's recently had for his physical health. So we're really excited to be building this package. We think it looks great, and we're really excited to be working with other health professionals and looking at ways in which we can educate staff around the early signs of mental health deterioration.